This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rajni Jain on behalf of agricultureinformation.com. I'd like to welcome you all to this online meeting. Please take a moment to review the guidelines for this online meeting posted in the chat window. I now request the moderator, Ms. Lakshmi, to introduce the speaker and start the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rajini. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lakshmipati and I'll be moderating this meeting. Agricultureinformation.com likes to welcome to this meeting Dr. Shivani, the principal scientist at ICAR Research Complex for Eastern Region in Patna, Bihar. Dr. Shivani will be speaking on the topic crop diversification for successful sustainable farming. I now request the speaker to begin.
Good afternoon, all of you. And today I am going to say something about crop diversification for successful and sustainable farming. Am I audible?
You are audible. You are audible.
Okay. So first of all, what is the reason of crop diversification? Why we should go for crop diversification? So as we all know, with the spread of green revolution technologies, rice wheat cropping system has emerged as the dominant cropping system. And this is also the backbone of our nation. This system is mainly, and it is grown in 12.5 million hectare, and it contributes 40% of the total rice production. And we know that rice is the most important kharif cereal crop, as well as it is the staple food of our country. And we generally eat rice once or twice a day daily. And here it is in, if I will say about this Indo-Gangetic plain, then in most of the farmers here, they generally grow long duration rice variety, and it is harvested even up to second week of December. Due to this, what happens, the next crop, that is the crop which is grown during Rabi season, it gets delayed. And due to late sowing of wheat, it has been reported by Mishra 2003 that a decrease of 47 kg per hectare per day, and even up to 57 kg per hectare per day if the sowing is delayed by the month of uh, December and January. That means a huge loss of yield due to late sowing of Rabi crop, especially that is wheat crop. So wheat crop is, so in this case it is very much needed for diversification of rice wheat cropping system. Diversification means uh, we have to go for crop intensification, we have to go for crop diversification, and here in this case diversification of rice wheat cropping system, because rice wheat is the main cropping system. So when we will say that diversification of rice wheat cropping system, that means we are covering the entire country, and diversification can improve the productivity and sustainability of agriculture production in the regions. But the choice of alternative sequence, it is to be used to require integrated assessment of various crop sequences. Excuse me. नहीं नहीं मेरा मीटिंग चल रहा है तो फोन किया In our country, most of the farmers are small and marginal farmers, and they cannot adopt a capital or intensive technology. So diversification is the best method to increase the productivity, to eliminate the poverty, and for employment generation. This is very good thing I can say. Then crop intensification, as I told, crop intensification and crop diversification. Most of the people generally we say that this is crop intensification and crop diversification. We should go for that. Why we should go for that? Because cereal cropping system, like rice is a cereal, wheat is cereal, then if maize wheat, we can say that this is also cereal. So in cereal cropping system, it is very exhaustive and it put a heavy demand of irrigation as well as nutrients. So if we will include legumes in our cropping system, or if we will include oilseeds in our cropping system, or even if we include vegetables in our cropping system, then it will be beneficial for health, soil health also, and also for the profitability will also increase. Further, in a changing scenario, our agriculture is now facing many problems like lowering water tables, soil degradation, environmental pollution, and many more things. So we have to also look all these things, and we have to find a solution so that our agriculture can be saved, and even our environment can be free, remain free from pollution. And at the same time we are observing that the rice wheat cropping system, or whatever cropping system we are following, the productivity is getting decreased, means reducing. The productivity is reducing, and as we know that the population is increasing day by day, and so we have to feed all the population, and for this we have to increase our production. So our nowadays our aim is to grow more crop per unit area with per unit volume of water per unit time. So for this we have to go for crop diversification. Next, next please. Crop diversification, basically it means moving away from growing traditional type of crops. Then that means if we are growing single crop, then we have to go for double or triple cropping. If we are growing one crop and we don't have much water, then we can go for intercropping. Likewise, with the for diversification, in case of diversification, we look the what is the available natural resources, what is the available land, labor, water, and in diversification there is very low risk of crop failures, because we don't grow only one crop. We side by side we are growing two or more crops. So even if one crop fails, then one or two crops that we are having, we can get yield from that crop. Next, please. Crop intensification. That means we have to intensify the cropping system. Nowadays, but the cropping intensity is very low of our country, and so for crop intensification and crop diversification, these are the two systems. These are the two words which is very popular nowadays, because during the period of Green Revolution, we there was need of excuse me, there was need of enhancing total food grain production, and emphasis was given on increasing the cropping intensity and cropping productivity. But what happened? In long term, this approach was disgraced. And nowadays we have to go for crop rotation or crop sequencing, and we have to intensify the cropping system. So under such situations, approach of diversification has been envisaged as a new strategy towards enhancing and stabilizing productivity, making Indian agriculture export competitive, and increasing net farm income with economic security. That means if we adopt diversification, we not only stabilize our productivity, but we can also export the things, and we can increase our net farm income, as well as we will get economic security. So agriculture and crop diversification is now almost a normal feature for stable agriculture. If we have to stable our agriculture, we have to go for diversification. Next, please. Then what is the meaning of diversification? In agricultural context, diversification can be regarded as the reallocation of some of a farm's productive resources. What are the farm's productive resources? These are land, capital, then farm equipment, labor, all these things, and along with this, the technologies. That means the technology can be of new crop, it can be a livestock, or it can be value adding activities. Means all these things comes under diversification. And in general, this diversification refers to the shift from the regional or temporal dominance of crop. That means to meet the ever increasing demand of food grains, oilseeds, we have to shift from regional or temporal dominance of one crop to a number of crops. That means from monocropping system to mixed cropping system or multiple cropping system we have to go for. Then, then we can say that whether it is a shift from traditional farming. No, it is not only the shift from traditional farming and less remunerative crop to more remunerative crop, but it is demand driven because the population is increasing, productivity is decreasing, so it is demand driven, need based situation, specific and national goal seeking. And at the same time we have to see the environment also. We have to look for environmental, and we have to grow such crops uh, which can be complementary, and it must have some marketing opportunities as well as अभी meeting में election. Excuse me. As well as we have to grow for more valuable crops rather than low value crops. As I told earlier, that a shift of a crop or cropping system to another crop or cropping system, that means from monocropping to double cropping or multiple cropping or mixed cropping, or even we can say if you are doing intercropping, that is also crop diversification. Here we have to use the resources in best possible way. How? By changing and modifying the spatial and temporal crop or cropping activities. That means a shift from less profitable crop to more profitable and sustainable crop is known as crop diversification. Next, please. Actually, this agriculture, our modern agriculture is technology-based agriculture, and the land is decreasing day by day and the population is increasing day by day. That means if we have to feed the whole population, we have to increase the food production. So when we go for crop diversification, when there is unsustainable production and soil is degrading day by day, there is loss of biodiversity. So diversified agriculture can be used in mixed farming, in case of animal husbandry, in case of horticulture, floriculture, forestry, sericulture. That means it have vast scope. Crop diversification can done in any of these sectors. Then next, please. What is the need of crop diversification? Actually, crop diversification is very important option to attain so many objectives. Number one, there is so many natural resources and we have to sustain those natural resources. At the same time, we have to balance our ecology. Then we have to look for the output growth, employment generation, because as we know that employment is reducing and population is increasing. So from this we have to generate the employment. Then risk coverage. Here the risk coverage is low because when you go for monocropping, it is very risky. If your crop fails, that means you don't have anything, you will be you will not get even a single paisa, even a single rupee, because there is if the crop fails. So when we go for crop diversification, the risk is low. Next, please. Thus, we can say that the necessity for crop diversification can be arises like reducing risk with yield, market and prices, arresting the degradation of natural resources and environment, and attaining the national goal. What is our national goal? That is self-reliance in crop products, earning foreign exchange, and employment generation. These are the main things for which we have to go for crop diversification. These are the needs for agricultural diversification. Now, if we will say that the most of our farmers, they depend on monsoon. For Kharif crop, if they are growing rice or Kharif season, in Kharif season, they mostly rely upon monsoon. And accordingly, the need of diversification is required to enable the farmers to earn from the alternative non-farm occupation. If they are growing only crop, and the monsoon is delayed by suppose 1 month or 15 days, or there is withdrawal of monsoon, early withdrawal of monsoon. So in this case, our farmers, they suffer a great loss. So the Kharif season opens up ample opportunity for agriculture employment. However, owing to lack of irrigation facilities, the farmer fails to get full employment opportunity during the Rabi season. So there is need of diversification during the Rabi season. And the non-farm sector has several segments that possess dynamic linkage such enhance the healthy growth of economy. Next, please. Now, what are the important facts which shows the need of crop diversification? Number one is raising farm income. Every farmer wants to raise his farm income, and for this diversification is very much needed. Then from diversification we can go for sustainable production and income. We can get food and nutritional nutrient security, then promotion of export, employment generation, poverty alleviation, then judicious use of land and water resources, and last but not least, that is the reduction in environment population. And what are the factors? The factors which affect diversification, they are resources. What are the available resources there? What is the infrastructure? Is there any institutional support? Then what is the price? And what technology we are getting? Then household, they are getting any technology or not? Then resources, all these things, these are the factors which affect the diversification of cropping system of any area. Then the key determining factors from farmers angle, it is that is a profit margin of new system. Why a farmer will adopt a new system? He will adopt a new system only if he will get profit, more profit than the older system. Then availability of market for produce. If there is availability of market, whatever produce they are producing, then only they will go for the new system. Then it also depends on the ease of operation or cultivation or storage system. Number fourth is the risk factor. If there will be low risk, they will go for that system. And if technology is available, if new technologies are available and farmers are motivated, then only they will go for the new system. Then other compelling reasons to shift for a new system is incentive. If they get any incentive, they will go for crop diversification. There are, next please, there are a few steps in crop diversification. Number one is delineate the area. Here we can say that diversification areas are from low value to high value crop. Then next, from water loving crop to water saving crop, so that we can save water and we can grow more crop. Number third one is from single crop to multiple crop or mixed cropping, and from crop alone to crop with crop, livestock, fish, apiculture. That is whatever resources the farmers is having, they can use along with the crop. And last one is from agriculture production to production with processing and value addition. If we will go for value addition, that is also one of the process of diversification. Next, please. Advantages are, when we will go for diversification, we will get better use of input, and then there will be low risk, the soil fertility will be maintained, and climatic variability will be, there will be buffering climatic variability, and pest will be suppressed. There will be suppression of pest because at the we are growing different crops. Then what are the driving forces for crop diversification? Increasing income on small farm holdings. These are the drivers, main drivers, or we can say main driving forces. Withstanding price fluctuation, mitigating ill effects of aberrant weather, then balancing food demand, improving fodder for livestock animals, because we rear animals also and we have to look for our animals. Then for natural resources, we have to conservation of natural resources like soil, water for our future generation. Then minimizing environment pollution, which is very much necessary in these days, and reducing dependence on or off-farm inputs, then decreasing insect pest diseases and weed problems which are very high. If we will go only same type of cropping system we will grow, then there will be more diseases, more weed problems. Then increasing community food security. Next, please. We have already, I have already told about the drivers of diversification, because as these days the consumer demand is changing. So we have to look for the consumers demand. Then demographics is also changing, and export potential. Developing countries, they have considerably, they are growing things and they are exporting according to the market demand. Then if there is adding the value product, if a farmer go for adding that is value addition, and they, most of the people generally they are using ready to go meals, means fast food, well, then labor saving packages. So these are the adding value. Then improving nutrition diversification, it improves the nutrition. How? That means from monoculture to different crops if we will grow, then it will be important from nutritional benefits, and then farmer, they can grow more crops from the same land. Next, please. What are the opportunities? Because as we all know, due to globalization, we have to think for export qualities. We have to think for more and more food products which are of good quality. Then there are so many emerging technologies which we can use and go for diversification. Then there are research and developmental support, as well as institutional and infrastructure developments. For diversification, we are uh, getting development support from institute, as well as we are getting infrastructure development also. As we all know that future agriculture will be more knowledge and it will be skill based. So we have to think about the technology based cropping system, and development in research and technology, and also transfer of technology. These are very successful crop diversification, very successful transfer of technology, because if we will generate technology and it will not be transferred to our farmers, then it will be of no use, and it should be of farmers need based also. Next, please. Now I told institutional and infrastructural development support. So to sustain and operationalize crop diversification, institutional support is very much required. And in this case, we see that there are so many natural resource management based institutions, there are so many state agricultural universities are there, and they are jointly addressing the issues connected with the crop diversification. They are doing researches each and every day. They do research on this, and they are developing new, they are maintaining, and they are developing new technologies. Then establishment of crop directorates for each of the major crops. There are so many crops in our country, and for each of the major crops, there is establishment of crop directorates and for development and technology transfer focus. Then these directorates act as coordinating agency between whom? Between the research and the development, so that and between the central and state government also for technology transfer and other activities which are promoting our crop diversification. There are so many constraints also. Each and everything we are having here, it has plus and minus sides. So constraints, what are the constraints in the crop diversification? It is that over 63% of the crop area in our country is totally dependent on rainfall. So whenever we will go for crop diversification, we have to think for the irrigation facilities also. We have to think for those farmers which are small and marginal farmers. Then suboptimal and overuse of resources. There may be overuse of resources, or there may be suboptimal use of resources. Then there may be that the supply of seeds and planting materials may be of inadequate type, means farmers are not getting proper seeds or at proper time. Then fragmentation of land holding. This is very in this modernization and mechanization process, this land holding, if it is a fragmented land holding, we cannot use many equipments due to this fragmented land holdings. Then poor basic infrastructure like rural roads, they are not so good for, and it is very much required for marketing purpose, for communication, then power, transport, all these things, infrastructures are also is one of the constraint in crop diversification. Then inadequate post-harvest technologies. There are technologies, but these technologies either they are in the pipeline, or if there are technologies, they are not I mean transferred to the villagers or poor farmers. Very weak agro-based industry is there, and the research extension and farmer linkage, this is very weak. So this is one of the most important constraint in crop diversification. Government has also made some policies and strategies for crop diversification. Next please. Like one of them is implementing National Agricultural Insurance Scheme. This is one of the government policy. Then operationalizing technology mission on cotton, then provision of capital subsidy of 25% for construction of or construction modernization or expansion of cold storage and storages of for horticultural produce. Because like if a farmer grow potato and does not have cold storage at in that area, so it will be difficult for him to grow potato, because he can't sell the whole potato at the same time, and if he will keep, it will spoil. So this is also one of the fact. Then creation of watershed development fund, strengthening agricultural marketing, then seed crop insurance, seed bank scheme, cooperative sector reforms. These are some of the government policies and strategies for crop diversification. Then after that, we will see the approaches of crop diversification. Number one is horizontal diversification. What is horizontal diversification? In this horizontal diversification, we generally go for crop substitution or crop intensification. Crop substitution means like you are growing rice, and if you are growing rice and you are not getting water for growing rice, then you can substitute this with another crop, like you can grow pigeon pea, or we can say arhar in Hindi, instead of rice if there is less irrigational water. Then crop intensification, that means if you are growing one crop or two crop, you have to intensify the crop by introducing one more crop, either it is pulse or it may be oilseed or it may be vegetable. So thus you can go for crop intensification. This is known as horizontal diversification. And number two is vertical diversification. And after that, there are so many other approaches like land-based approaches, vast water-based approaches, or varietal diversification. That means if you are, in case of varietal diversification, if a farmer is growing the long duration rice variety and then he will go for rabi crop, his rabi crop will be delayed. So in this case, what we do, instead of long duration variety, we will go for short duration variety. This is known as the varietal diversification. And as I told, horizontal diversification, that means we have to diversify either by crop substitution or by crop intensification. It is the primary approach. That means by adding new high value crop or new high value crop to the existing cropping system, we can get more yield, we can get more income. So a tendency towards cereal specialization was observed during 1967 to 76, but nowadays what happens? It is replaced by coarse cereal, and these days we are, if we will include oilseed or pulses, it will be more beneficial for us. In case of vertical diversification, this means we are adding value, we are branding our product, we are, after processing, we are packaging or merchandising, means that means we are adding value to our product or value addition. This is known as vertical diversification. Next please. In rain-fed areas, the important crop diversification are that crop diversification under assured irrigation condition. Then number two is where there is water scarce condition. In this case also we can go for crop diversification. For nutrient management aspect also we can go for crop diversification. Like in coastal area of Karnataka, it has been seen that uh, there is the productivity of rice cropping system is declining. Why? Due to toxicity of aluminum, due to toxicity of iron and manganese, it has been observed. So for in these cases, we have to go for crop diversification so that we can manage the nutrients. And crop diversification, it can be measured. Next please. It can, how can we measure crop diversification? It can be measured by Simpson Diversity Index, and this means DI. DI represents the diversification index, and it is summation of I1 minus summation of Pi square, where Pi is the proportionate area of the ith crop. That means whatever the gross crop area is there, in that area, the specific crop you are growing, that is the Pi square. And the index ranges between 0 and 1. 0 indicates infinite diversity. That means in another if there is one, there will be complete specialization. And there are some, next please. There are some examples of crop diversification. In conventional method, generally we grow rice wheat. So if we will say that we have to diversify the crop, that means either we have to diversify kharif crop, or we have to diversify rabi crop, or we have to include one more crop in summer season. And it may be the third crop, it may be a pulse, it may be a green manure crop, then it will be said as crop diversification. Here I have given one example, that conventional method is rice wheat, and when we will go for a crop diversification, then depending upon the area and the available natural resources, it may be rice, potato, sunflower, it may be hybrid rice followed by vegetable pea, wheat, or vegetable cowpea. It may be maize intercropped with vegetable cowpea plus sesbania, and it will be followed by lentil plus mustard and then green gram. Then maize plus cowpea in Kharif season, then followed by wheat and then green gram. Or next, one more, it has been tested that sorghum plus cowpea, maize, followed by maize plus black gram, and then followed by onion. These are some of the examples of crop diversification, but in different areas, this crop diversification may be of different type because the crop that we are selected, it should be of it should be I mean to say that it should be suitable for that area according to the available natural resources as well as the marketing system of that area. In this table, we have seen that the bio-intensive complementary cropping system for higher productivity and profitability as alternative to rice wheat system. Here number one is rice wheat system. You can see that from rice wheat system, it has been for comparison with other cropping systems, the productivity or the yield of rice wheat system has been converted into rice equivalent yield, and then it was compared. In this case, we can see that sorghum plus cowpea followed by maize and plus black gram followed by onion, it was found the most beneficial cropping system. Here we have diversified rice as well as wheat. In Kharif season, we are not growing rice. In Kharif season, we are growing sorghum plus cowpea. And during Rabi season, instead of wheat, we are taking other crops. And in summer season also, we are taking some crop. So this was reported by in Modipuram, and it has been found that sorghum plus cowpea followed by maize plus black gram followed by onion is the most beneficial cropping system or the most diversified cropping system, which was very much profitable for the farmers. In next table, it has been here, yeah, I have given some alternative crops. That means like in state of Punjab, the main crop is rice, and for main crop for Rabi season is wheat. But instead of rice, the alternative crop is maize, moong or urad. And during Rabi season, they can grow mustard, chickpea, lentil or field peas. If they will grow these alternative crops, it has been found that this will be more beneficial than growing rice only. In Uttar Pradesh also, rice can be diversified by growing arhar, which is of short duration, or moong or urad, and during Rabi season, instead of wheat, farmer can grow mustard, chickpea, lentil, field pea. These all are leguminous crops which not only give more production, more income, but also it will take care of the soil. In Bihar, uh, rice is grown generally, and Bihar it is mostly flood prone area, and there are so many low lying areas. So uh, rice is mostly grown in the waterlogged areas, and this is the Kharif cereal, and so no alternative crop is there in low lying areas of Bihar. For wheat, maize is very much successful here. Mustard, lentil, these are very much success instead of wheat if the farmer grow wheat. Then for Tamil Nadu, here there is a drought and high temperature is there. So the traditional crop they are growing are rice and pulses. And it has been proposed that if they will grow banana, sugarcane or onion, this will be very beneficial for them. In Gujarat, the climate is like that of Tamil Nadu, drought and high temperature. So they generally grow upland paddy, cereal, coarse cereals and cereals. And the beneficial, if they will grow maize, sesame, castor, and intercropping with sugarcane, soybean, vegetables, and horticultural crops, it will be more beneficial for them. In Maharashtra, uh, the paddy and coarse cereals as well as cotton are the traditional crops which the farmers grow there. But instead of that, if they will grow oilseeds, soybean, or horticultural crops or medicinal plants, and floriculture, it will be very much profitable for the farmers. So if we will diversify the traditional crop with high value crop, this will be very much beneficial for our farmer. In this table, I have shown the yield and system productivity of rice-based cropping system. This experiment was taken here only, and in this case, we have in this case, the two duration of rice, that is short duration and long duration rice, was grown, and it has been found that after short duration rice, when we grow rice, wheat, green gram, we get the system productivity was 10.47 ton per hectare. But when we will grow vegetables after rice, here we have diversified rabi crops. That means we have diversified wheat. When we will grow cauliflower, we got an opportunity to grow one more crop. That means because cauliflower is short duration crop and it is a vegetable crop, so we got some time, we got an opportunity to introduce one more crop. So we have taken here spring onion. Likewise, broccoli is also short duration crop. So when the farmer will grow broccoli, after that he can grow spinach, and then after harvesting spinach, he can grow green gram or moong during summer season. So here we can say that when the Rabi crop is diversified, the rice equivalent yield, or we can say that the system productivity is more by diversifying the crops, that is Rabi crops. Next, please. This table shows that when will this Swarna share, this is short duration rice variety, and Swarna MTU 7029, this is long duration rice variety. So this rice took at least, I think, approximately 118 to 120 days to mature, and this took 149 to 150 days to mature. So after harvesting these two varieties, when we grow wheat, tomato, potato, cauliflower, broccoli, then pea, we found that the yield which we grow after short duration variety, it was much more higher than those that were grown after long duration rice variety. In this table, you can clearly see that. And here in this case, cauliflower and broccoli, one more crop was introduced, so the rice equivalent yield is, I think this is 3 times higher than this one. So not only the crop but also the variety determines the diversification. Next, please. This table shows the system productivity. In this case, this is the system productivity which is having short duration, long duration rice variety. This is the system with long duration rice variety, and this blue one is system with short duration rice variety. So here in each and every system, you can see that those which are having short duration rice, their productivity is much more higher than long duration rice. And one more thing, that this is cereal system, rice wheat cropping system. In this case, the crop productivity is lower, whereas when the Rabi crop is diversified by vegetables, then we found that the crop system productivity is higher. Next, please. Inclusion of legume is one of the is also comes under crop diversification. If a farmer grow only rice, wheat, that will be not beneficial for soil, because it is cereal system. It is most exhaustive. But in case of but when we include pulses or oilseed in the cropping system, it will be much more beneficial for uh, farmer as well as for soil nutrients. Here, some of the examples are there, that pearl millet and wheat, when it is grown, its average productivity is lower than pearl millet and black gram, and even the profit is also much more higher in case of pearl millet and black gram. In case of Sirugappa, Karnataka also, when a farmer grow maize wheat, he will get less profit. And if wheat is diversified by black gram, that means instead of wheat, if black gram is cultivated, then the net profit is high, as well as being a leguminous crop, it will add nitrogen to the soil. In case of Thanjavur, Tamil Nadu, generally farmers will go for rice cropping system. And if instead of rice cropping system, they grow cocoa groundnut. Instead of rabi rice, they grow groundnut. It will be much more beneficial for uh, farmers. Likewise, there are so many cropping systems in which if we will diversify by inclusion of pulses or oilseeds, it will be beneficial for farmers. Next, please. One more thing I would like to say that by diversifying, we can also manage our weeds. Because if you will grow rice wheat each and every year, there are so many weeds which generally grow in these two crops. So instead of rice wheat system, if we will include in berseem, lobia, mustard, or sugarcane, it has been found that wheat, the important one of the important wheat, that is Phalaris minor, it is found in wheat fields. It has been found to get reduced due to the cultivation of berseem, lobia, mustard, and sugarcane. Then there are other reports that instead of rice wheat system, if we will grow lobia and berseem, lobia followed by berseem after 3 years, once in a 3 year. That means at an interval of 3 years, then 44 to 56% of uh, uh, weeds has been observed to be reduced. So if we want to manage the weeds, if we want to reduce weeds, then crop diversification is one of the important aspects, and we have to go for crop diversification. Then one more thing is that if we are having low irrigation facility, and so we should not only grow only one crop, but we must go for intercropping. And in this case, we should take care, it should be take care that the crop which we are growing as intercrop, it should also be of same nature. Like instead of growing one crop, we have to grow intercrop. Like in Odisha, they generally grow pigeon pea, but if we include groundnut with pigeon pea, it will be very much beneficial for them. In case of UP, that is they grow pigeon pea during Kharif season. But if they grow pigeon pea plus maize or urad, then urad, that means black gram, then it will be beneficial. Likewise in Maharashtra, if soybean is intercropped with sorghum, it will be much more beneficial. In Tamil Nadu, if this moong or soybean or black gram is intercropped with groundnut, it will become more beneficial. In Himachal Pradesh, urad or black gram is there. It has been recommended for intercropping with maize. And in Rajasthan, generally black gram is intercropped with mustard. And in Haryana, they generally grow wheat during Rabi season. And if it is intercropped with mustard, it gives more profit than growing only one crop. Then there are some future thrusts. This slide shows the future thrust for this crop diversification. And one of the most important thing is subsidy. If government provides subsidies to the farmer, they can afford growing high value crops, because one of the feature of crop diversification is growing high value crop. Instead of low value crop, we have to grow high value crop. And for growing high value crop, if subsidy is provided, our farmers will be happy to grow this high value crop. Then post harvest handling methods, it should be improved. And marketing infrastructure facilities, it should also be improved so that our farmers can sell their products easily in the markets. Then input and credit delivery system, it should also be improved as they are important factors in determining cropping decision of the agriculture producers. Then there is also need for involvement of private sectors because then only the development can go faster. Then this private sector in different types of activity like marketing, like in processing, then in extension, in research, development, all these fields, there should be involvement of private sector. And there is also a need on emphasizing varietal improvements in the crops to adjust with agronomic and climatic condition because our climate is changing day by day. So for this we have to grow some such varieties which can be adopted in these changing climatic conditions. Now we can conclude that crop diversification, it is the need of the hour because our population is increasing and the crop productivity is decreasing. So crop diversification or crop shift is a new paradigm of sustainable agriculture. We have to sustain our agriculture. We have to make our agriculture sustainable. So crop diversification not only a shift from traditional and less remunerative crop to more remunerative crop, but it is demand driven, it is need based situation, and it is national goal seeking continuous and dynamic concept, and it involves spatial, temporal, value addition and resource complementary approaches. And then crop substitution and addition of more crop in existing cropping system, it is also one of the major approach of diversification in India. Whatever the cropping system we are taking, if we substitute or we add one more crop in that cropping system, this is also one of the process of crop diversification. And from low value core cereals to if we grow oil seeds, then it will be much more beneficial for us. Next, please. Diversification, it is of rice wheat. Generally, rice wheat is the most dominant cropping system in our country. So, diversification of rice wheat cropping system, it is it increases the productivity and sustainability of agriculture, and here one thing we have to take care of, that is the choice of alternative crops. Whatever the crop sequences or whatever crops we are taking for diversifying any situation, this should be depend, it should be matched with the with ecosystem, with the natural resources of that particular area. Then diversification of wheat, if it is the wheat is diversified with vegetables, it will be more beneficial and it will be more sustainable because this only not this will increase the farm income as well as it will increase the livelihood of the farmers. Then diversification to commercial crop commodities, it becomes an essential strategy nowadays because due to this income can be increased in agriculture, and this will minimize the risk due to failure of crop, and it is one of the important aspects for earning foreign exchange. Next, please. Next, please. Then diversification of agriculture is considered as an essential to take the advantage of complementary. As I told earlier, that there should be a complementary and supplementary relationship so that a farmer can get more and more maximum returns. In this case, it is also required to maximize resource use efficiency. Whatever resources we are having, we have to maximize the resource use efficiency through use of land by using multi-dimensional use of land, then by timely use of outputs of one enterprise, and it may be input for another enterprise. Thus, we can use intensive use of family labors. Then the economic factors like farm size, tractor, bullock density, then extent of tenancy. So many factors are economic factors are there, and as well as the social factors like family size, age, education, head of the family, then distance from the road. These are the significant determinants of crop diversification. and suggesting that proper mix of both economic and non-economic factors are very much essential for promoting this our agriculture production. So in finally we can say that for increasing the crop productivity, for increasing the production, for having nutritional security, we must go for crop diversification instead of following rice wheat cropping system or monocropping system. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shivani, for an excellent presentation. I now request the participants to ask the questions. We'll also be posting the speaker's contact details in the chat window. Now over to the participants for questions, please. Any questions, participants? Any questions? Mr. Ram Babu has got a question.
Yes, sir. Madam, thank you for the presentation.
Thanks, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
I am from the coastal Andhra Pradesh. In coastal Andhra Pradesh, in some of the areas after the rice, the maize is grown. But many people fear that maize decreases the soil fertility.
Yeah. Maize is a heavy feeder crop, and it can if you grow the maize in after each and every year, then it may happen. But if you will alternate the crops, like one year you will grow maize, after rice you will grow maize during rabi season, and next year if you grow some other crop, then it will be not like if you grow any leguminous crop in you add any legume in your cropping system, then it will be beneficial for crop health. But
So
if you
like,
will grow, yeah,
what is the leguminous examples of leguminous crop you give me?
leguminous crop like black gram. Hello,
Black gram, green gram.
black gram, green gram, you can grow there.
Okay. So what you suggest is
There are
what you
short duration frequency varieties also which you can grow there.
okay. What you suggest is alternate years. In alternate years, the after rice, the 1 year maize, another years this legume crop should be grown.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next question, please. Who is interested to ask the next question? Any other questions, participants? Okay, no questions. Yes, Mr. Joseph Brito.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Shivani, for a very, very nice and detailed presentation. As you mentioned in one of the slides, the only issue is lab to land, the uh, transfer to the field level and to the poor farmers. That is most important. In some states and in some districts and taluks, the Department of Agriculture, universities are active. But mostly, in almost 60 to 70%, we find they are not active. So that is one of the most important points that you made, which should be taken in very seriously by the authorities. Otherwise, your uh, very nice findings will remain in the lab only. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for providing me this opportunity.
Thank you, and that is all we have for the day. I now thank Dr. Shivani on behalf of Agriculture Information for taking the time to speak with us. I now request the organizer of the meeting, Ms. Rajini Jain, to please close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati. I like to thank the speaker, Dr. Shivani, for taking the time to talk with us. I also like to thank all the participants for their time. The meeting will now be closed.
Thanks a lot.